this t-shirt on earlier. Natalie said, why are you wearing a black t-shirt? It's really hot outside. And I'm like, Natalie, I'm a grown-ass man. I can make my own clothing decisions. I've literally been dressing myself for 20 years. I'm sweating my ass off right now, and I can't catch on. I can't let her know that. So, come on. Wish I'd brought a jacket.
It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I just wonder.
We are at the Homosassa State Park. Now there's two areas of this park. There is one which is the archaeological place, which is where we are now, my vote. And there is also the nature reserve, which has a boardwalk out to the manatees. We haven't been there yet. Hopefully go there soon. I have to say this place is extremely quiet. Obviously people don't like the archaeological stuff, but the Spanish moss on the trees looks so cool. Like, I don't know if I like Spanish moss because I feel like it kills the trees and it's probably not very good, but it does look pretty. Does look pretty. Yeah, it reminds me of savannah. So interestingly, there's some smaller mounds here. There's some larger ones which we'll get to in a moment. There's some smaller mounds here, and when they excavated them, just off the top of my head, I haven't read this placard or anything, they found like oyster shells, like tons and tons and tons and tons of them. It's almost like this was the trash heap, but they found, you know, remains of oyster shells and all this stuff, and we're talking like over 1,000 years ago that they lived here. So they think that this was a huge colony, and they would obviously, it's right next to the sea, so they would obviously depend on a lot of fish products, but also they found other things like not so much weapons but tools and things like that, made from similar things. So that's cool. There is a huge mound up here ahead, and I want to know why they built the mounds, why they lived here and built these mounds. So let's go and figure out what that's about. Okay, now here is Mound A. I'm going to call it Mound A. Haven't read the placard or anything, but apparently the bigger the mounds, the better the places were. So the grander they were. So I'm not sure if this is one of the biggest ones that's ever been built. I'm guessing not. But it's weird though, isn't it? Like if you think like 1,000 years ago, they built the pyramids, or was it older than that? I think the pyramids were older than that. So the guys over there in the Middle East are building these grand pyramids that are perfect, and here it's just a massive mound of dirt.
Oh,
I mean, it's impressive.
There's nothing in it then?
There's nothing in it. No, it's just a mound of dirt. So,
okay.
You know, but basically what they do is at the top here they would, you know, they would do speeches, and it's more of a thing. Whoever was at the top is obviously, you know, the big shots of the group, so it's for that and for entertainment purposes, I'm guessing. Just off the top of my head, haven't read the placard. I think my last guess that I didn't get off that placard was wrong. I think this was a watchtower. I think it was a watchtower. One thing that apparently they would do here is they would trade a whole bunch of goods. So they would make stuff from the land and then they'd sell it to people out on the water. Hopefully you can hear me, it's really windy up here. Which is another cool thing. Maybe they built this to keep people cool, because you get a really nice breeze. Anyway, it's a great watchtower. You can see who's coming along the river. You can see the speedboats. Yeah, could be coming for an attack. Don't think they had speedboats then, not sure. Just off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Yeah, and you can see the whole where everyone would have lived. So I think that these mounds were watchtowers. And what I said earlier was wrong. Who knows? So I am going to advise you, this isn't wheelchair friendly. And also, if you don't like steps, I can confirm that there are 51 steps here. You know, facts like that, that's the kind of value you get watching the Brazen Brits. Where else would you get that? 51 steps, guys. What's that place we're going to, sweetheart? Don't know, but it's got 51 steps. Got a big mound of dirt. That's why people hit the subscribe, like, and hit the bell button. That's why they do that, so hit that. Don't do it 51 times though, just once. Either once or 3 times. If you hit it twice, it undoes it. Once or 3 times. Thanks, guys.
Gathering more information for off the top of your head?
I was just looking at the pictures, didn't even read it. But from what I imagine off the top of my head, they actually had a water lagoon here. Man-made one, lagoon that went through here. And over the years, they basically just filled it with shells and stuff.
As a guess?
Just as a guess, yeah. I mean, I'm guessing they got one of those machines to kind of, that can like sense what's under the ground and stuff, and so they did that and maybe excavated a bit. So yeah, there was a channel down here, but yeah, they filled it in.
They had a machine? What year was
well,
this?
no, not then. The people who found out about it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so we should probably explain that. This was over 1,000 years ago. It was the Native Americans who did all of this stuff, and they basically, they didn't like die out or anything, but they just moved. So there is another park very similar to this across the river. They know that because there's more mounds, and basically they think over the years they just kind of petered out, but apparently they found similar places like this in like Michigan and places like that, so they're pretty sure that they just eventually just spread out across the US. That was it. This is kind of interesting. Not sure I believe it. This was found in 1964, and that is a face carved in a rock apparently.
What is it?
That's a face carved in a rock.
What? Where? Are we looking at the right side?
I mean, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think they just picked a rock out and said, you know what, that's really cool, we should like fence that in and put a thing saying we think that's a face. It's not a face.
No.
Let us know what you think in the comments, please. I mean, I can vaguely see something there, but anyway, it was found with carving tools and stuff, which is why they think this was like left as an offering for a god or something. But I mean, I wouldn't leave that for my god. That's not a good carving, is it? Alright, the plot thickens. I did read this one now. I read this. So a lot of the mounds are actually burial sites and graveyards. So they would bury people here, obviously cover them in soil. They would bury belongings with them. So when they actually excavated them, they obviously found a whole bunch of stuff. It was between 1,000 and 3,000 years ago, so I'm guessing there was no bones because they could carbon date that. But there was artifacts and stuff that was still there buried, so I'm sure there must have been some signs of bones or DNA, human DNA, something like that. So most of the mounds are burial sites. Creepy. Just off the top of my head, this isn't a burial mound. This is just the tree trunk. Don't bother looking at that. This here was apparently a stage. They found a couple artifacts, but generally everything around here was kept clean. So they think that there wasn't just stuff dumped everywhere, it was kept very clean and clear and brushed and sweeped afterwards. But that there is meant to be a stage, 12-foot stage, so that they could do festivities and things. I think they made that up. It was 3,000 years ago now. How do they even know that? They found a couple of pots up there and this was clean.
Festivities.
I'd love to know. I wish they'd give more details on that. Like, I'm sure they made it up.
I'm so confused.
So this isn't much of a mound, but actually this is quite interesting. So they did carbon date stuff. They didn't say it on any of the other plaques, but this mound was the same time, the carbon dated stuff was the same time as the other mounds. But in this one, they didn't find any like really nice stuff buried with the people. So they think that there were two different kind of what do you call it, classes, social classes. So obviously the rich people would be buried in the bigger mounds over there, the cooler mounds with the cooler things, and then the lower class would be buried here under sand. That was soil, under sand, with, you know, lesser valuable things. So Natalie, what do you think of Homosassa? Actually, you tell us what it is. What's the place called?
Archaeological. What's the word?
So what did you think of the Homosassa Archaeological site?
Archaeological. I can't say that. A great place to come and walk the dogs.
If you've watched our videos before, you'll know Natalie has no interest in this. It is a really nice place to walk the dogs, or just have a stroll around. They ask you to keep off the grass, so there's not a lot of kids here.
$3 entry fee. $3
entry fee unless you have the state park pass. And so yeah, I think I wouldn't come here.
You kind of walked off. Sorry, carry on.
Well, I thought we were getting in the truck.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that.
What was she doing? Yeah, so if you, I wouldn't bring kids here. If I'm honest, it's a nice walk. You could walk the dogs around here. That's nice. It's a nice, quiet walk. So yeah, do that. But I wouldn't come here expecting to have a party.
Just stealing things.
So this isn't what we thought. So I actually thought there was the Homosassa Archaeological place, and then this was the
Crystal River State Park.
The Homosassa like nature reserve. And it is a nature reserve, but it's the Crystal River Preserve. What is it actually called? The Crystal River Preserve State Park. And it also has St Martin's Marsh Aquatic Preserve.
Off the top of your head?
Just off the top of my head, yeah. And so actually it looks like it's mainly just nature trails, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you can bring dogs here, because there's like a 7-mile loop. There's an eco walk, a Crystal Cove trail, Church House Hammock Trail, Dixie Shores Trail and stuff. There's a cool little garden here as well. So let's walk around here, see if there's a little trail we can do, and see if there's anything else going on. But I feel very secure. So this is obviously where they park up all the police boats. So there's a bunch of police cars over there, and then there's some docks with a couple of boats, and I'm guessing the rest of the boats are probably out on the water.
Cool.
Telling people to turn their music down, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this is a much more adult orientated area, I think. Again, you could take kids here, maybe to go around the trails and things, but really it's for a bit more of a peaceful nature walk, which is kind of cool. And it comes out on the water here, so even the water here looks much more peaceful than it was over at the other side of Crystal River, except for this boat. But it's nice. Now we need a boat. Can we get a boat? Just a cheap one, like 50 grand. I have no idea how much boats are. I'll look into getting a boat. If you can let us know below if I should get a boat or not. Okay, no joke. We just saw a dolphin.
Oh my god!
There is a dolphin
here. Dolphins here.
I had no idea there was dolphins here either. Keep watching. Where is he?
I've got such a long lens on.
I swear we're not making this up. It's over there. Alright, we've seen it twice now. I don't know if I got it on camera, but there is a dolphin here. We had no idea there was dolphins here.
There it is!